Hello friends, Tim here again with a quick video game countdown again. Today we are sitting back and taking a closer look at some of the rarest and most expensive video games. So plug in your Atari, smash some buttons, and let's go! Number 10. Despite being designed by black belt Joseph Emilio, Karate for the 2600 was known for being one of the worst Atari games of all time. Some of you may be surprised to see Karate on this list as it is often considered a common title, but it all depends on the publisher of the game, as two companies gave it a shot, Ultravision and Froggo. So which is more valuable? The original publisher was Ultravision, which makes it rarer to locate and, believe it or not, could bring up to $4,000 US. Number 9. Gauntlet was originally a mail order game that strayed from the conventional packaging. Instead of the standard Atari box, this game came in a foam case. The game itself lets players control Sir Robert Wittenbottom as he runs a tribal gauntlet to prove his manhood. Don't you just love the old Atari days? Since it was a mail order only game, it has now become somewhat of a rarity, with sales of this game reaching up to $5,000 US. Number 8. Ultimate 11 was a soccer game for the Neo Geo system, however fans of the series dubbed the game's name as Super Sidekicks 4, as it's the fourth title in the series. Before you get too excited if you own a copy, the game itself is only rare in the European region. If you are lucky enough to own a European copy of the game, you could expect prices to reach as high as $10,000 USD, depending on condition. Number 7. Another Atari game here at number 7. In this one you must protect the city of Atlantis from evil Gorgon spaceships. Atlantis II featured harder gameplay and competition-tuned scoring compared to the original Atlantis. The only way to get the game was to win a Defend Atlantis competition, where participants took photographs of their high score and the top 10 scores received a copy of the game. Today the cartridge is valued at $5,000 to $18,000 US. Number 6. Have you ever wanted to experience Moses' biblical crossing of the Red Sea? Well, now's your chance. Red Sea Crossing was an Atari game that also came with an audio tape and a colouring book. Only around 100 cartridges were released in total, and so far only 2 have made it to the public since then. These 2 were also missing their colouring book and audio tape. Price is estimated at $10,000 to $14,000 US. Number 5. Air Raid would have to be one of the strangest Atari cartridges ever. This weird light blue T-handle design sure leaves an impression. Released around 1984, this one is still a bit of a mystery. But with only 12 known copies in existence, it is a pricey mystery. In 2012, Harv Bennett, a former drugstore manager, sold a complete in-box copy of Air Raid for an astonishing $33,433. Apparently back in the 80s, Bennett was given a copy of the game by a salesman, and he kept it with a bunch of other boxed Atari games in storage. Number 4. Some of you may have already heard about the 1990 Nintendo World Championships. Essentially, it was a massive video game competition held by Nintendo, where players competed on special cartridges that combined Super Mario Bros., Rad Racer, and Tetris, with a timer ticking down. 19 of these grey carts were given out to the winners, and only around half have been accounted for. These grey carts are worth $5,000 to $8,000. Even rarer are the 26 gold editions of the game, which were given out through a Nintendo Power Magazine contest. If you can find a gold edition cartridge, you will be looking at paying between $15,000 to $21,000. Number 3. Released in 1987 by Bandai, Stadium Events was one of the few games to work with the Family Fun fitness mat that the company made. Nintendo then bought the rights to the game and the mat in 1988 and re-released them as World Class Track and Meet and the Power Pad controller. To avoid confusion, Nintendo pulled the copies of Stadium Events from shelves, but not before around 200 cartridges were already sold. Of those 200, it's believed that only 20 complete copies of the game exist. Whilst the Nintendo version of the game sells for around $5, a proper Stadium Events sealed copy once sold on eBay for $41,300, and empty boxes have been known to sell for $10,000 alone. Number 2. Birthday Mania was a bit of a flop when it was originally released by Personal Games. The game allowed players to play mini-games like popping balloons and blowing out candles, but the real novelty was the blank space on the cartridge that allowed you to write the birthday person's name on it. Very few copies of this classic remain, making this game worth between $15,000 to $35,000 US. Number 1. And finally at number 1 we have Gamma Attack for the Atari 2600. This is possibly the rarest game in existence, at least if we are only counting original cartridges. Of the few games to be released, it is believed that only one original is left, and is owned by a collector named Anthony Donato, who once listed the game unsuccessfully on eBay for a whopping 500,000 USD. In reality though, the non-reproduction cartridge is estimated at being worth between 20 to 50,000 US dollars, which is still pretty amazing. And that's it for today, friends. I hope you enjoyed these rare and expensive video games. Don't forget to subscribe if you haven't already, share this video with your friends, keep those comments and likes coming, and I'll catch you soon.